communication in any language. Like I have met a few people who don't even know how to communicate properly in their mother tongue. So
Hmm.
communication is one step. Then after you have like you have aced the art.
First of all, how are you?
I am perfectly fine. You tell me, how are you?
Yes, I'm doing absolutely well because yes, I have seen your videos and now you are talking with me. So it's also dream comes true for me, and you are just really thank you for that also.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here.
Okay, yes. So, first of all, before we start today's conversation, I would definitely like to have your introduction so that also we can know about you, what you do, and what is your name, so you can give your short introduction also.
Okay, so my name is Anvesha Satpathy. I come from Odisha, and right now I'm a CMA finalist. Along with my studies, I also run a YouTube channel in the name of The Witty Turtle, where I generally upload classes on cost accounting and operations management. And along with that, I also provide motivational videos over my channel and a few study vlogs also. So that is
Hmm.
my introduction till now.
That's good. Okay, so many of us are not aware about what is CMA. So what is CMA? So as you have mentioned that you are a CMA finalist. So what is CMA and what sort of things you have to study in this course?
Okay, so the full form of CMA is Cost and Management Accountant. Uh, when we come to commerce line, there are basically three professional courses: Chartered Accountancy, which is very popularly known as CA, then Company Secretary, that is CS, and Cost and Management Accountancy, that is CMA. So previously, it was known as ICWAI. The older generation people know this in the name of ICWAI, right? And the basic job of a CMA is to do cost audit, right?
Hmm.
For example, chartered accountants are assigned to do the tax audit and GST audit and all those things. Similarly, cost accountants are assigned to do cost audit. So that is a very brief introduction about our course. And in this course, there are three levels, as we all know: foundation, inter, and final. Where in foundation you have four papers, in intermediate you have eight papers, and in final you have again eight papers. So a total of 20 papers are there which you have to clear to become a CMA.
Okay, so I think as you have mentioned, so this is a professional course where you have to clear three levels of the examination, and then you actually qualify this particular examination, right? So another thing is that as I have heard about that, these other courses are really tough, even in consideration also like very tough. Also, they are considering because it's a professional course. So if I ask you one question, that is, chartered accountancy is also popular in India. Most of us know about it also, and costing also nowadays I think it is demand is also increasing, many people are getting to know also. So like how difficult, which level of this particular course is too difficult? Like as you have mentioned, three levels are there, so which level? I think most probably final is also very difficult, I think.
Yeah, as I have given foundation also, intermediate also, and one attempt of final also I have given. So I would say final is the most difficult one. And also, specifically, group three of CMA final is very difficult and very vast, I would say, because you have a lot to study in direct taxation, corporate compliances, company law, and all those things. So definitely, final is the toughest level of CMA.
Definitely, definitely. So, and apart from your like a degree course that you are doing, so as you have mentioned that you are also helping other students also to prepare for their journey, like you are uploading video lectures and you are also uploading motivation videos. So, my question is that why did you start your YouTube channel? What was the motivation when you first started your YouTube channel? So, what was the motivation that point in time?
Okay, so let me give you a very brief idea about my family background. So my grandfather was a Hindi professor. My father is a professor in engineering. So you can say teaching is there in my blood. So after
Hmm.
my 10th, class 10th, I started teaching mathematics to some of my juniors. Then I went to college, and in the hostel also I used to teach accountancy to some of my class fellows. So like this, my love for teaching started increasing. And in the lockdown, when lockdown happened in the year 2020, I felt very lonely, and there was a very urge inside me to teach something to people. So for that only I started this YouTube channel on 1st January 2021, so that I can reach to a larger mass and help other students as well. And also I can
Hmm.
follow my passion, which is teaching.
Definitely. Through online, you can actually reach to other students also, those who are in need. Especially, I think that many of us are having the financial burden also. So sometimes it is also difficult for any particular, not only in CMA also. I think other professional courses are also there. In science field also are there. So everywhere. So YouTube is the best platform where you can get free resources. At least some of them might be a student, some of them teachers are actually providing some free lectures, and based on their experience, especially I can say that when you actually see any student's lecture, so you get to know about their experience, that how did they overcome and what are the steps that they are actually following, so that we can also take the same steps, and based on that we can also prepare our journey also. I think to be honest with you, I still recall one subject that I used to prepare from online also. So for that subject I had a lot of fear, that because I didn't take any coaching for that, so it helped me a lot. I think your videos also I have seen over there, and other videos also I have seen. So I think it's also based on some experience, that how other people works on that, so that we can also conclude a particular draft plan for ourselves, that how we should go, so that we can also give our examination, no matter which kind of examination it is. If we are a UPSC student or any government exam student, so we should follow based on our niche or based on our category, right? So that we can also draft a proper plan, and we can also give our examination, because guidance is most important, and finding the right guidance is also another most important and challenging thing, right? So when we have guidance, obviously it may be in form of online or offline. If it is better, because you are directly interacting with the people. But even if it is in online, still we can feel that yes, someone is uploading some videos, through that we can get motivation, or through that we can get some guidance, and we can give our best based on the guidance. Because I think one thing that is very specific, that is when we do not have guidance, we think that what to do, what to not, and many questions are keep on coming inside in our mind, right? So that helps us to reduce that pressure, and also doing it in a well manner, I can say. Hmm.
Yeah, that's perfectly right, because only a student who has gone through all those difficulties can guide other students properly. So definitely, whatever you said was absolutely right.
Yes, yes, definitely. So the another question that is coming inside my mind. See, now in this professional course, as you know, that mostly as I have heard about is that this CA CMA course might be dealing in the business professional corporate world. So, what is the importance of English over there? Like, is it important to learn English, or we can skip this part? Like, not learning English also is in the corporate world or business professional field, I think.
So it doesn't really matter whether you're doing any professional course or not. Even if you're a normal human being, you should be able to understand English and speak English, as long as you are in India or outside India. Because in every field, if you are able to speak English, then only you'll get respect. That is the social mindset of our country, right? After the Britishers left, they have spread this particular thing that you have to learn English anyhow. And if you're in a professional course like CA, CMA, or CS, then you have basically two options. The first is either you can go in practice, or you can go in job. If you're going in practice, then yes, obviously you have to learn English, because you may get some international clients with whom you have to communicate in English. And if you're going for job, then obviously, to crack a basic interview, to crack a basic group discussion, to crack a basic written test, you have to get good command over English language. And once you get the job, you're trying for promotion or anything, so there also you need to have English, you need to have good command over English, because that's how you impress people, right? And here, um, we should first talk about the importance of communication. Communication in any language. Like, I have met a few people who don't even know how to communicate properly in their mother tongue. So
Hmm.
communication is one step. Then after you have like you have aced the art of communication, then you can go for communication in English. You should have clarity of thought, like what I am going to say, what is there in my head, and I have to convey those things in certain words. And the second thing is articulation of words. What words you are going to speak now, which will be like understandable by other people. So that is
Hmm.
very important. Whether you are doing any a professional course, or even you're a fashion designer, or even you're a chef. My father always told me since my childhood that there are many chefs in the world, but why Sanjeev Kapoor is a very famous name? Because he knows how to communicate well, right? So even if you're in any field, you should have good communication in English and also in Hindi. And
Hmm.
in India, these two languages are very popular, right? So
Hmm.
you know English and Hindi, then आप कुछ भी बेच सकते हो कहीं भी. So that
Exactly.
simply eradicates the idea of unemployment. So knowing English, at least basic English, is very important.
Basic English is very important, right? Because I think no matter from which profession you are, at the end of the day, if you want to expand your business, then you may have to interact with international clients, or at least if you are in job. So as we know that in multinational companies, they also conduct meetings for their clients also. So that time you might have to give presentation in English. So that is very important. And one thing also I feel that, especially this question is for students, like no matter from which professional course or where they are studying, actually the fact is when we go for higher studies or any professional course, that time everything is written in English, so you have to study in English. Like as I think that in CMA also you have to study, mostly Hindi is also option, but mostly people are choosing English because teachers are also available for English studies, right? So you have to mostly in professional course or higher studies you have to study in English, and you have to recall and you have to write in also English. So, suppose if any student is coming from non-English medium background and first time entering into these courses, so what they should do at least to crack this examination for them? I think this is also a big challenge to learn English, to recall all of these things in English. So, what basic steps they can do for any examination? You can say.
So this is an apt question for me because I have done my 10th from a vernacular medium school, which is an Odia medium school. So, but luckily I had the family background where I can learn English, right? So, in my opinion, like everybody tells you to watch English news and read English newspaper, English novels, etc. But nowadays, I know students are not very much fond of reading news or watching news or reading books. So now I can suggest you only one thing, that there are ample number of podcasts available on YouTube, right?
Hmm.
You can listen to any of the podcast of your choice. Like I listen to the podcast of Ranveer Allahabadia. You might
Mm-hmm.
have known them.
Yes, big bicep, I
So,
think.
yeah, Beer Bicep. So I listen to his podcast, and along with that, if you have interest in fashion, then you can follow any fashion blogger. If you have interest in cooking, then you can follow any cooking channel who are speaking in English. So what happens when our mind knows that this is the topic of my choice, then our mind works properly and it grasps all those things nicely. So that gets retained in your brain. And
Hmm.
the more you listen somebody speaking in English, the more you will be like conversant with that. So that's a one thing. And also Netflix is there, and many more things are there from which you can learn English. One more thing, when we are choosing classes of the faculties, uh, so in my opinion, we should choose the classes of those faculties who are teaching in English. We
Okay.
like generally in our fraternity, very less teachers are there who are teaching in English. Mostly Hindi is going on everywhere, right? So
Yes, yes.
South Indian students are facing a lot of problem. But
Mm-hmm.
in the past 1 year, I have I have like spoken to a few teachers who are teaching in English for the benefit of South Indian students. So, in my opinion, it would be again an additional advantage if you choose the classes of those faculties who are teaching in English, because
Mm.
we have to manage time between study and entertainment. So we have to balance everything.
Yes, we have to balance everything. And as per my knowledge, also in every field, there are very few teachers are there who are teaching in English. Mostly for South Indian students, it's a very problematic situation because they may not able to understand Hindi, so they are well versed with, you can say, that English. So that's why for them, and take that advantage, because not only South Indian students, I think, okay, South Indian students are in need of English lectures, but also from other part of our country like north and east part of our country, students also should take the initiative to tell that, okay, we, so if we do everything in English, then it is a better and add-on advantage for us. Like, let's say for example, it is add-on advantage because when we study anything in English or recall anything in English, and when we see that other teacher is also speaking in English, so it's an add-on benefit for us, and that we can also get derived from this. So all in all, I can say that one English environment will be generated, and based on that we can also perform well, because at the end we have to write in the examination. So I think automatically this will come in such a way, I can say. Hmm. Sure. Yes, exactly. So yes, I think right now I have to go, but really it was an amazing conversation. So you have just given all of the answers in a proper manner. So I really enjoyed this conversation a lot, I can say.
Yeah, same here. I also enjoyed a lot speaking to you over this. Like, it doesn't really feel that I am speaking to you for the first time. Interview was really good, and you're a very good listener, I must say.
Thank you, thank you. It's my pleasure also, and also thank you also for coming. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for having me here.
Okay. Sure.